Hey guys, I'm back for another video today. That's why I have on the same outfit and makeup and in today's video I want to do a video all about my favorite setting powders. So if you want to see that, please keep watching. Okay, so I am not one who's really big into setting powders. I probably should be because I have such oily skin, but honestly I'm very lazy when it comes to applying makeup, and that extra step just doesn't cross my mind. But I do, however, like to use setting powders during the day. After I touch up my makeup, blotting sheets, I will go back with some setting powder just to kind of set my makeup and help me look matte again and retouch any areas where foundation has come off. So yeah, I have setting powders for different things. I'm going to show you my favorite setting powders for my whole face, under my eyes, specific areas of my face. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is probably my favorite right now, and that is the CoverFX Illuminating Powder. And this is the sample, well, not the sample size, but there's like a mini size and a regular full size. And this is the mini, and it is in color medium. So it's just a translucent powder with a hint of color, and I use this for setting my under eye concealer. I did just go ahead and put some on. I tend not to bake my under eye or my face anymore just because I feel like it looks a little heavy and cakey. So I've really been liking this powder. It has a little bit of luminosity, so it just adds like a subtle glow to your face. And I got this idea from my girl, I think her name is Cayenne. I always get her name wrong, but I will link her below. Her channel is like KTC 31 or something, but I'll link her channel below. I absolutely love this powder. When I run out of this, I'll definitely buy the larger size. Another powder that I like for my under eye area as well is this Sasha Buttercup. Now this is talked about all over YouTube, and I probably will do a video later about overhyped products / Instagram beauty brands or social media brands, because I just cringe every time I see beauty gurus promoting products that they're getting a discount or a percentage from sales. I just think that a lot of times these are brands that don't really come from a love of beauty. They just come from, I'm just gonna dish all these products to you, I'm gonna push them to make a profit. But I did see a lot of people who weren't sponsored in their videos talk about this setting powder, so I decided to get it. It's very messy. I use this powder specifically to bake, and this is the color Buttercup. I do believe they have a couple other colors. Last year, at the end of last year, I was baking all of my under eye all the time. I do think that baking is sometimes necessary. I just think it's dependent upon what look you're going for. Day to day, I think that baking is just a little too harsh. It just creates like a veil under your eye that is very opaque, and I think it looks kind of fake. But baking really looks nice in photography. If you're going to be taking pictures, if you're going out to the club or at night out on the town, baking looks really nice. But for day to day, for the average man or woman, baking I just don't think is really necessary. You can always use whatever powder you're using to bake, to just like dust it under your eye, which is how I use my CoverFX. But this powder is just very completely matte and yellow toned, so I don't tend to use it all the time, but if I want to look extra perfected and beat, I will wear this. My next powder is going to be my Mercier translucent setting powder. This is the one that everybody raves about. I do love this powder as well. It is a white colored powder. It doesn't have any color. It's completely translucent. This is really nice because it's very fine, unlike the Sasha Buttercup. The CoverFX powder, it is very fine, but I think that the Mercier one is a little more fine. So I like this for setting my overall complexion. So once again, if I'm gonna go out or if I'm going to be taking pictures, I will use a powder such as this one to put all over my complexion before I do any mist or anything like that. If I'm going to be taking pictures, I think this is really nice. But for day to day, I just think that this is an extra step that I could just do without. And because it's loose, I wouldn't necessarily take it with me to touch up on the go. So this I use the least, but I do still think it's a great powder. And if you like using a setting powder every day, I do also think it is great. Last translucent powder is going to be my Urban Decay Naked Skin Ultra Definition Loose Finishing Powder that I got from my girl, Lushing Beauty. I love her, and she was so sweet to send me this, and I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I really like it. It's ultra fine and silky feeling, kind of like the Laura Mercier one, but it has a hint of color. So I have the color Naked Medium Dark, and I have it on today. It looks like that. It's just a, you know, a brown translucent powder, and I use it to set my face when I want a little bit of color. So I think sometimes in the summertime a translucent powder is not really what I want, because I like to look extra bronzed and golden in the summertime. So that's when I'll use this one. I really like it. I used it on the lower portion of my face and around my nose today. It's just a really nice tan color setting powder that's very silky, and I like it. It doesn't do anything especially perfect, like none of these really do, but it will set your makeup and give you a nice tint to your complexion. Okay, and then the last two powders that I have are in compact form. They are pressed powder. So the first one is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the new packaging, the new formulation, the new coloring range in dark golden, and this is what I use. So I use my pressed powders like sometimes if I just want to do concealer and powder, if I don't really want like a full coverage, if I'm just going to be going somewhere quick with my friends or something and I want to look a little put together but not like beat, I'll wear something like this. I'll put some concealer under it and then just dust this on top, and it gives you the look of perfected skin with not having all the layers all over your face. So I do like this. I also use this powder on the go because it's in a nice compact. So like I said, if I get oily during the day, which I do every time I go outside, no matter what season it is, I will use my blotting papers and then follow that with this powder just to touch up where any foundation has rubbed off or anything like that. So I really like this. Once again, this is dark golden. I probably could go a little darker for the summertime and use this as like a bronzing color, but I don't have one. Maybe I'll pick that up soon. Okay, and the last compact I have is the Sephora Microsmooth powder in matte tan number 40. Now this to me is like a dupe for the MAC MSF. Obviously the packaging is horrible. I hate this packaging. They probably have new packaging now because Sephora updates their packaging a lot, but this does not close well at all. So I don't take this out with me because it would get all over my makeup bag. It has some nail marks in it because it's just, the packaging sucks on this. It's very cheap, but I do think the whole idea of this powder is a lot like the MAC MSF, being, you know, a natural powder that's grainy with a little bit of glow to you. So it's not going to be completely matte, but it's just going to make you look natural. So I really like this. Like I said, this is in color 40. You can also use this over concealer if I want like a natural perfected look for the day, or I can use this to touch up, although I keep it at home, so it would have to be like if I have people over at my house or something like that. But I do like this for just touching up my face, and the color matches well, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Those are all the powders that I have to share with you guys today. Now I'm going to show you the brushes that I use for them. This is the MAC 116. I use this with any powder that I use under my eye. So being the CoverFX, because I don't bake with it, I just kind of dust it over my eye like that, and this works well. It's like a medium density brush with natural fibers. Now, when I'm using a powder like the Laura Mercier one, I do have a powder puff, if I can get it. But I don't always use it. It's like a velour powder puff. I just think that that breeds for bacteria, so more often than not I will use something like this. like a setting powder brush. You could use one of those little silicone sponges. That's great. Anything like that that's just going to give you a light dusting. Keep in mind, the more densely packed your bristles are, the more coverage you're going to get. So if I were to do my concealer underneath and a powder on top for like a nice natural look, I would use a brush that has densely packed bristles because it's going to give me a fuller coverage, whereas I would use something that's more loosely packed if I just want to dust it under my eye. So that all plays into the products that you use. Now, when I bake, I will use a beauty blender. This is the one I use for my concealer, but I actually have a pink one that I use when I would use the Sasha Buttercup to bake under my eye, or if I want to bake under my contour, you can always do that to make it pop. I use something like this because I feel like it gives me a nice color deposit, but it also helps to blend it away fairly nicely. So I like that. And yeah, those are basically all the brushes that I use for my setting powders. If you guys have any questions, I hope I wasn't talking too quickly, but if you have any questions, please leave them below and I will talk to you guys and see you in my next video. Bye!